morning. My name's Dave, the Dave in the Morning Show, daveinthemorning.com, August 25th, 2010. Today is Wednesday. I want to talk about Section 27 of the 1920 Merchant Marine Act, known as the Jones Act, and a little politics. Because it's kind of fun. Basically what the Jones Act says is this, in a nutshell. To transport goods by vessel, boat, from one U.S. port to another U.S. port, that vessel has to be operated by U.S. citizens or permanent residents, owned by U.S. citizens, and built by U.S. citizens in U.S. port. So you have to build a boat in the United States, it has to be owned by someone from the United States, and it has to be operated by people from the United States. In a nutshell, what the Jones Act says. The reason they put that act, this law, into effect was to protect the U.S. civilian marine fleet, right? So we have boats, so we can transport things in times of warfare. It doesn't say that to go from Europe to the United States, it has to be owned and operated and flagged, and et cetera, by U.S., but to go up and down the rivers or to go between Honolulu and San Francisco, it's got to be a U.S. boat. Okay, that's in a nutshell. There are political people who say the Jones Act is bad for America. It's a bad deal, you know, free trade. And these are kind of the same guys that say, hey, you should have foreign ownership of U.S. airlines. And let's call that cabotage. Okay, that's cabotage. Well, I was talking to some guys about it, and they thought, no, there's no way that there's politicians out there today that want to get rid of the Jones Act. And I said, there's lots. There's lots. In fact, one of the guys spoke up at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, Kings Point, just a couple of years ago, and said how proud he was of the Merchant Marines, blah, blah. And then just this June, with the BP oil spill crisis looming and public opinion, in the right-wing blogosphere saying that the Jones Act is keeping foreign vessels from helping clean up this mess, when everybody else said it wasn't happening. But the blogosphere got a hold of this. John McCain, yes, John McCain came out and said we should repeal the Jones Act. In fact, he said that on June 25th, 2010, John McCain put forward a bill with another senator that says, today, he said, I today am pleased to introduce legislation that would fully repeal the Jones Act, a 1920s law that hinders free trade and favors labor unions over consumers. Specifically, the Jones Act requires that all goods shipped between waterborne ports of the United States be carried by vessels built in the United States and owned and operated by Americans. This restriction only serves to raise shipping costs, thereby making U.S. farmers less competitive and increasing costs for American consumers. That's John McCain. Okay, it was very popular at the time to want to waive the Jones Act to get these foreign vessels in, even though the Coast Guard and BP said they don't need them and they would just be a hindrance. Never pay attention to facts. Don't let facts get in the way of what you want to believe. So they used this BP oil crisis as a way to get rid of this. Now, why would John McCain want to get rid of this? I don't know. I honestly can't think of a good reason other than to get rid of good-paying American jobs and to decrease the security of the United States of America. So let me rephrase that. John McCain wants to get rid of the Jones Act because he's not concerned about the security of the United States, and he doesn't think Americans should have good-paying jobs. In a nutshell. And it's hard to argue with that. There's 500,000 jobs that rely on the Jones Act. U.S. shipping, do you really think today, with the way manufacturing is, that if we said, you know what, you can build your ships anywhere you want, that the ships would be built in the United States, our civilian shipbuilding industry would collapse. It would collapse. All the big boats, most of them are already built in China for the other flag carriers, for foreign flag carriers. Our tugboats would be built in China. Everything would be built in China. And if foreign ownership was allowed, who would buy these shipping companies? Well, not Americans, probably. They'd be outbid by other countries, like Saudis. Not that there's anything wrong with Saudi Arabia owning U.S. shipping that was built in China. And they'd probably man it as much as they could with low-cost labor. Now, I'm not saying illegal labor, But, you know, hey, the border's pretty open right now, and even John McCain screaming about closing the border, I don't see any real action happening on any front to get the border secure and have any ID check or anything. So you can, here's worst case, right? Worst case. Saudi guy owns the shipping company. The ships are built in China, and they're manned and operated by illegal immigrants. Nice. That's where we want to go. That's very secure, Mr. McCain. That's good. So you get rid of these good paying jobs, drop it down to like $7 an hour, no benefits, have them operate the tugs, have them go back and forth between, you know, Puerto Rico and Miami, whatever, and get rid of the merchant marine fleet and eliminate 500,000 good paying jobs. That's you. Now, people say, no, there's no difference in the parties. There isn't any difference. Why should I think that the Democrats would be any different than the Republicans? Because they come out and they say things. They say that they're for the merchant marine. They say, let's see if I can find one. I've got a quotation here from Barack Obama, right? Barack Obama. The United States Merchant Marine also shepherds the safe passage of American goods. They carry our exports to consumers around the world and support the flow of domestic commerce on our maritime highways. They help strengthen our nation's economy, bolster job-creating businesses, and along with the transportation industry, employ Americans on ships and tugs in ports and shipyards. Today we pay tribute to the United States Merchant Marine, and we honor all of those who tirelessly work in laying a foundation for growth, prosperity, and leadership in the 21st century. That was in May. Barack Obama said that. In June, Senator McCain tries to get rid of, puts a bill forward to eliminate the Jones Act and annihilate the U.S. Merchant Marine Fleet. So I put forward, if you're involved in the merchant marine industry, why would you vote for someone like John McCain? That's the question I'm asking today. Please let me know. Help me understand why you would support right-wing politicians who want to eliminate your job and give to somebody else for much less pay. Thanks. I'm Dave, DaveInTheMorning.com. We'll see you next time.